Hello, I'm Ajay Mathur with the International Solar Alliance, and I am delighted to be here with you today to discuss with you how international collaboration can completely change our energy system of the future. But before I do that, I want to place my thanks to the government of Chile and, in particular, the minister for inviting me to talk to you about the kinds of opportunities that occur. As we look to the future, we are seeing a major change occur both in the performance as well as in the cost of renewable energy sources. In my own country, India, we see that the price of electricity from energy today costs less than electricity from coal, albeit only when the sun is shining. But when the sun is not shining, it's coal electricity which is the cheapest. But this may not last long. Possibly in 1 year, possibly in 2 years, we will be facing a situation in which round the clock renewable energy, that's renewables plus storage, possibly batteries, will be the cheapest source of electricity round the clock. This means that we have a great opportunity to provide to people electricity that is cheaper, electricity that is cleaner, electricity that is more reliable and autonomous, and electricity that is zero carbon emissions creating as compared to fossil fuel electricity that they have today. The challenge is, how do we make this happen? It's happening in many, many countries. But the places where we are seeing the least amount of impact is typically in these small island states and the least developing countries. Why? Because the problem is that resources, financial resources for investment in solar energy are not flowing into these regions. They're not flowing for a variety of reasons. It includes the political risk that people see. It includes the kinds of sizes of projects that people see. It includes the amount of effort that needs to be done to get the first project off the ground. Consequently, my suggestion is that what we should do together is to create a blended finance facility that helps this to occur. What is a blended finance facility? It's a facility that brings together what, in my view, are the three essential financing components. The first, and it helps me to think of this as three concentric circles. The first and the innermost concentric circle is the finance that is required for the transaction itself. This is provided by various funds, it's provided by banks. It is the money that is spent in making the project, and the investor expects that he would get 150, 160% in the 20, 25 years that the project is operational. But we know that that is not happening. That's where the second concentric ring comes in. This is the risk management profile. So the risk management funds enable the, the transactional funds to earn the return that we are looking for by providing possibly the guarantees that payment would occur, by providing subsidies where people do not have the ability to pay, by providing policies regarding the purchase of this electricity, whatever it takes for that investment to earn its return. But then if we spend a lot of time and effort in creating the transaction money and in creating the risk management money around a single project, it probably isn't worth it. We need a pipeline of projects, which means that you also have to have an ecosystem which can produce one project, a second project, and a third, and so on. So you need capacity. We need to have new risk metrics which bankers can use. We need to have policymakers spell out the kinds of environment in which investments can occur. We need the regulators who can balance the system when variable renewables are put in. And obviously, we need people who can design, operate, and maintain the solar energy systems. This ecosystem requires readiness capital. So we need three kinds of money. We need transactional money, we need risk management money, and we need readiness money. The problem is each one of them comes from a different kind of investor. The transactional money comes from, as I said, funds and banks. The risk management money typically comes from bilaterals and multilaterals. And the readiness money comes either from bilaterals or from philanthropic organizations. We need them all to be blended. We need them all to be in the same room when a project is discussed. It is this kind of a blended facility that would help us in moving ahead and creating the kind of infrastructure so that financing can flow for the first project, for the second project, for the fifth, for the 100th project. Together, as I said, we can make a difference. This kind of a blended finance facility has worked and will work in the future. The challenge is to make sure that it meets the country's needs, it meets the consumer's need. As the Solar Alliance, we have seen that the kinds of needs are very different in different kinds of countries. Consequently, it is not a case of one size fits all, though the blender facility may be different, but the approach that it has for a country A and country B and country C would be different. We are willing and actually looking forward to work with all of you in making this happen. We would be delighted to carry out a assessment of what is the kind of blended facility that is needed, what is the kinds of risks that we face, what is the kind of capacity building that is needed. The International Solar Alliance is working with a range of countries for this capacity building, for this identification of risks, for a few key transactions to occur, which can then change the overall policies and processes so that solar energy projects become the norm, not the exception. I look forward to work with all of you. Together, we can make history. Thank you very much.